KT going to go back to Echo, or GP Jin and Victor bans, rather?
We will see. There's the Gangplank ban along with the Talia ban. Once again, Talia a little bit too strong to leave up. Saw what Crown was able to do with it last game. There's the Jin ban as well. So yeah, it looks like KT going back to the bans that worked well for them tonight. Taking away the Jin especially is seemingly pretty important against Samsung.
Will it be the Victor here, or will it be the... probably be the Victor. I don't think you're going to do the Elise at this point in time. Crown did have an amazing Victor game to start out this series. Wow!
Really? Really?
I really don't think that's necessary, Doa. Maybe they're just not used to playing against it, but Skarner was not the reason they won the last game. Skarner is such a snowbally champion. The problem is if you start falling behind on Skarner, the other team has enough gold just to buy 1 billion QSSs, and then you basically do nothing. So if you get ahead, though, like we saw, then it can be problematic. But I really honestly believe that the main problem that KT suffered was choosing 3 losing lanes in the last game and just having no pressure on the map.
I mean, as KT sees it, though, it looks like they just don't feel that they're ready to handle that Skarner. They want to play a more normal game, I suppose, so they're going to ban it out. So do you take the Sivir away from Arrow? Probably a good idea. Sivir, Tom Kench, very safe way to start building your team, something you can adapt a lot of strategies into, I suppose.
Yeah, question is, are we going to see the Kalista here again for KT? The last time Samsung did a Sivir pick in the first round of the draft, that was a Gnar Kalista response from KT, but Samsung is probably feeling pretty good about picking the Kennen into the Gnar. They've won both early games when they've had that matchup, but KT may just walk into it once again.
Gnar Kalista.
Yeah, this is looking a lot like KT's Game 2 draft so far.
Yeah. Well, it worked really well for them then.
Well, they fell really far behind in the early laning phase, and it was Score pulling out some insane Nidalee play that actually got them back into that game, and I don't think you can bank on that, Doa.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit nervous here for KT. They're going to at least try and have a winning lane, though, with the Kalista. We'll see which support they end up going for.
This would be the first Elise that Ambition has played tonight if they lock this in.
Yeah, it's been banned in 2 out of the 5 games, though, and it will be the Kennen, to the surprise of no one. So, yeah, strong ganking combination between the Elise and the Kennen. Somebody's going to have to be very careful. It will be the Lissandra once again.
So
for Fly, blind picking the Lissandra.
This is the exact same composition that KT ran in game number 2.
Yep, same order of the draft too.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about this. Again, they did lose very hard in the early game. The side lanes really struggled.
Now, in that game, Crown played Zillion. I don't think we're going to see that this time. Looks like it might be the Karma, which would make a lot of sense, along with the Sivir, and that's what it's going to be. So mid lane Karma. Against that Lissandra. Yeah, they had the Karma in game 2 also, but it was at the support role instead. So they're going to take a less dominant 2v2 lane, which is good, actually, for KT, because the Bard Kalista should have some nice poke damage up against Samsung's duo lane. And the Zillion does well against Lissandra in the early laning phase. It will free up Crown to take the cleanse in this game to avoid getting hit by that frozen tomb. So Samsung, though, mid and top, still very much favored towards them in the early game. They also have a strong ganking jungler in Elise, so someday likely to have a target painted on his back during the laning phase. KT, though, how did they come back? They had strong objective control with the Kalista, and were able to get some impressive solo kills to actually make it back in that game. But again, Score was the really dominating factor, so he's probably going to have to step up here once again if he wants to send KT Rolster to the World Championship. Well, he's done it before. He can do it again. Score has proven himself over and over to be an incredible jungler. Ambition, though, another player with a very successful role swap, going from mid to jungle in this particular case. and he wants to go to Worlds. He's never been before, and he's been so close. Again, like we mentioned, he's been to Game 5 in a series that would send him to Worlds before. This is not the first time he's been in this situation.
Would be a bummer after all the growth that Samsung had this season to lose out in the last match.
And, you know, what a story for this organization as well. You know, to lose everybody after winning in 2014 to now, 2 years later, perhaps making it back to Worlds once again with a completely new squad, helmed by an old veteran in the jungle. So, it's time. That's right, fan yourself off, because it's going to get even hotter in here.
Ruler, always with the self-fanning. Someday
Crown gets other people to fan him off.
he's siphoning Ryu's energy. Of course, a bunch of ex-KT players here to watch right now. Ryu, Zero, and Duke, all former members of KT, coming to support their old team.
That's right. Ambition with a quick battle nap, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of nose picking, but he's ready to go. His sinuses are clear. It's time to try to send his team to Worlds.
Right after this pause ends.
Right after this pause ends. That's right. Okay, it's ending now. We can see it on our screen. So it looks like we are ready to move in to game number 5 between KT Rolster and Samsung. The winner goes to the 2016 League of Legends World Championships. Let's see who takes it. It's time to get the game. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. KT Rolster versus Samsung. You can hear the fans. This is it, game number 5. Ambition versus Score. Couldn't ask for anything more, except for maybe that not rhyming, but it did, so we'll just move on.
Well, what an interesting relationship these guys had, moving from different positions, both of them into the jungle at the beginning of 2015. Two of the longest running veteran players that we have here in Korea, finding new success in a new role.
You know, both teams sporting supports that had to really overcome a lot of problems early on in their careers to get where they're at. You know, someday an extremely good top laner, but suffering from nerves in crucial matches. Kuve, another massively improved player. And Ruler, the kind of surprise for Korean AD carries this season.
Yeah, it has been really interesting to watch Ruler. He seemed to have such good synergy with his team, particularly with Ambition, interestingly enough. Not many rookie AD carries have the same level of map awareness that Ruler has had right off the bat. So it'll be interesting to see where his career goes. At least right now, they will be watching that Bard walk into their jungle with the ward, so no attempt at a Gromp here. Delay. Some trading, Arrow. And Chani going to zone Core and Ruler off the first wave.
Yeah, even if Samsung don't make it to Worlds this year, what a enormous improvement for this organization from 2015, and you know, looking ahead to next year, this is definitely going to be a team to watch if they stay together.
Yeah, it really has been impressive for Samsung. They struggled in that first year, really didn't have a strong mid laner to play around. They get Crown after he comes back from Brazil, ends up really helping to carry this team, and also finding Ruler out of the ladder, and surprisingly, at least tonight, it looked like Core JJ may be a bust at the support role, and you say, all right, well, who's going to change Wraith? He's been one of the best support players in all of Korea this season, but Core's been playing really well in this gauntlet run, and it's been impressive to see how fast his role swap has been successful.
Well, that's definitely been the biggest shock this week, is just how good Core JJ ended up being.
He's been great.
Yeah. And Tom Kench has been a good champion for him tonight. Showing certainly some depth at the support role.
Must be nice for Samsung to be able to bench a player as good as Wraith.
Yeah, seriously. And someday, I mean, his career has been certainly an interesting one, being so dominating, so good in his role, but so shaky when it comes to big matches from time to time. This is a big game. It's about as big as it gets.
KT, though, you got to believe that they want something more. The quarterfinals are a disappointing finish.
Oh, all right. Crown goes in for the tether onto Fly. Fly does not
nice
take the E.
mind game from Fly.
Kidding. He knew Crown was going to send that Q over there. And, whoa, finally has to flash at the very end. Thought he could maybe get out without using the summoner. Meanwhile, action down the bot lane. Arrow very low, but with Ruler having to back off. Now Core JJ in trouble, and he's going to flash. Some close calls already in mid and bot.
No support there from the junglers, but nicely done by Crown. He shot the Q over there, and Fly decided not to take it, but that meant that he had a long way to walk to get back under the turret. The Q came back up off cooldown.
Yep.
And Crown forced the flash, so nicely done by Crown.
Good mind games overall.
Yeah, really interesting mid lane trade there.
Score on that Nidalee once again. He's put on some pretty amazing performances tonight on that champion, of course.
Cube, I think he has a very good idea of where Score might be on the map.
Yeah.
And Ambition's going to find the single Krug there and probably have some suspicions that Score might be lurking right now.
That said, here comes Score. Kube gets nailed with the spear. Gets back under turret just in time.
Yeah, no level 6 on Someday, so very small chance the all-in works, but they're going to keep going for it, Doa.
Yeah, the Q lands. They're going to dive this one deep. Score chasing. Meanwhile, more action in the mid lane. Crown flashes to land that tether. There's the cocoon. It's a race to first blood, and the race goes to Samsung. Ambition takes it. Meanwhile, Kube did escape with his life. Didn't even need to burn that flash. So a good start for Samsung already.
Yeah, Minion Wave was there in time to block any kind of spears that Score was going to throw. They try really hard to get that kill, but they don't get much in the end. Proxy a Minion Wave, but with the TP still up from Cuvée, he gets right back into lane.
Yeah, I feel like
an
it's
early advantage here for Samsung.
I feel it's a bit poetic as well for Ambition to be the one to get first blood. I mean, he's overcome that weakness a while ago, but it has been a running joke for years that Ambition always gives up first blood, but here, where it really counts, he's the one who gets it. That's what they need.
Yeah, Crown had a great play there. You notice the distance he kept so that even after Fly used the Glacial Path, the tether remained on him.
Right.
Crown playing this matchup very well so far. And Fly a little bit overextended when he knew that his jungler was in the top side, so has to be careful. Needs better communication with Score there to make sure that's not going to happen again.
And an Infernal Drake again for our first Drake of the game. It's really been intense with the Drakes this series too.
It's a big point, but KT was able to get the Drakes the last time they ran this composition.
Yep.
Was extraordinarily useful in securing those early objectives, and at least Arrow and Hachani are not far behind like they were in game number 2 of this series. They still have to work Fly out of the hole though, but Fly hasn't fallen behind in CS, and Someday not doing too badly in a losing matchup either.
Yeah, pretty even game aside from that first blood so far.
A little bit of CS here and there, but it's about scaling for KT. And they're consistently, we take a look at what is this game going to look like when we get to the later stages. Well, Fly has the extra teleport, so split pushing is definitely going to be an option, particularly after the Hurricane comes through onto the Callista. Crown not really going to be able to answer the Lissandra split push, and the scaling is really there for KT. We already know how Someday's going to build. We know that that translates into a nice win in a 1v1 in the late game from the Gnar onto the Kennen. And Ambition not going to be playing a very impactful jungler, late game jungler. Gragas does a lot more in late game teamfights than the Elise. Of course, Samsung is putting a lot of eggs in the Ruler basket, which they've got top catch and they have a Karma, so lots of protection here for the Sivir.
Yeah.
Ruler's going to have to play very well in some of these team fights.
It's been a pretty safe bet so far this season. Looking good this series as well.
Oh, man.
Wow, Kube very low again. Flash at the very end of it all. Someday takes a turret shot, but he's okay. Rather get that summoner.
Good timing for Someday on going back into the mini Gnar form so he would actually be able to threaten him with auto attacks under the turret. So Someday comes through, actually starts to win this matchup just a little bit. Not in terms of the CS, but he's putting on more pressure than he did previously. Both top laners going to go ahead and back right now. Someday picks up the completed cowl. A little bit of armor, or magic penetration rather, for Cuvee with the Sork shoes. We'll see where Someday goes with this. Looks like he may be a little bit more comfortable than he was in the first couple of times he played the matchup in this series.
Yeah. CoreJJ moving up to the mid lane right now. Looks like both teams trying to get a little bit of vision around the Dragon through the mini-map. Finds the pink ward. And what are we going to see from this Elise?
Curious what his build is going to be too, how aggressive he wants to go with it.
Let's see. Shani lurking as Ruler and CoreJJ do some farming in the bot lane. Really quiet game though.
Samsung happy with the small advantages they're gleaning from having a couple winning matchups in that first blood. They have been able to extend their gold lead slightly, as Someday has been shut out of some more CS. Score hasn't been able to get a meaningful CS lead on this Nidalee either.
Yeah.
Elias, it's going to keep hurting. Yep.
Yeah. That's what happens in this matchup. Ruler getting poked by Arrow though. CS again pretty even between the two lanes. So it seems like, do you think we're just going to see kind of farming until somebody decides to make a move towards the Infernal Drake, or is it going to take a
No,
gank?
it's gonna take some sort of gank, especially because when we've seen Score play the Nidalee in this series, CoreJJ and Ambition have been very good at getting the wards over the backside of the Dragon Pit. And they have to keep doing that because otherwise Score may be able to sneak the Infernal Drake in a few minutes.
True.
That has to be at the forefront of Core and Ambition's mind right now, just making sure that Score can't get in there and get it for free. But it's going to be harder this game because Arrow and Hachani are winning the lane so far, and at least winning the pressure battle, which makes it harder for CoreJJ to get out safely. Because if he gets caught in the river, Arrow and Hachani will just be there faster than Ruler is able to answer.
Someday nearly Mega Gnar, but still down in that lane a little bit. This has definitely been our most passive start yet.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. Everybody afraid of making mistakes, so going for the highest probability.
Score spotted by the ward. He's going to come in anyway.
Yeah, Score did not spot the ward himself.
Yeah, they're just going to go for this turret, going for that first brick. And they may get it. They've got the minion wave, but here comes Ruler and CoreJJ.
Have to be careful.
Shani takes the magical journey out.
No good wards to TP, though, too, for the members of Samsung, so there's not a great chance to punish. Score going to wrap around yet again. Ambition seen at the prompt, but no steal attempt right there. Ambition will prevent any. Oh, nice job by Core. Takes away.
Not bad.
The Scuttle Crab.
He's been good. I mean, where was this CoreJJ before? This is like a completely different player.
It takes time to make those adjustments, right?
Yes, it does.
Credit to Samsung for knowing when he was ready. They tried him out a couple of times, and they must have had something they saw that they liked earlier on in the season in scrims, but after a couple of months in the dark, he has really developed as a support player.
Crown able to just take big chunks out of Fly whenever he wants, pretty much.
For now.
Yep.
Fly probably going to be thinking hard about building a Negatron Cloak next, especially against Elise and Kennen.
Probably a good idea. Fly grabs blue buff. And ping's going down. They see Core JJ come in to put down a ward or two.
Yep, taking advantage of the blue buff handoff. Makes for an easy invade for Deep Vision. Someday, really no pressure on the turret yet by QV, which is nice. Someday had some opportunities just to farm up deep in his own territory. Samsung gonna go for this one.
Yeah, this is bold.
Ooh, this is really bold, actually.
They're seen, but they're getting it pretty low already. Here comes Achani. Here comes the teleports for both teams. Score goes in. Who gets it? Taken by Samsung. They get the Infernal Drake. That is big. Kube comes in with the Slicing Maelstrom, though. There goes Fly. A kill onto KT. Someday gets on the back lines with the Megadar. Gets the ultimate, but that's a double kill for Arrow now. Arrow going crazy on this Callista. Still untouched. Gets another one for his team, and KT wins the fight big time.
Well, they trade 3 for 2, but
okay.
KT, they're going to get the bottom turret off of this for sure with Ruler dead, and Crown chased off back to the mid lane. That turret's already low, so they're going to get first brick, but they lose the Infernal Drake. Someday's trying to clear out here. Someday ends up with double buffs out of that, actually. And man, that was a great Gnar ultimate coming in from Someday. To start off that, Fly actually probably should have ulted himself rather than Kennen right there. That was a bit sloppy. But it is a trade that works in KT's favor when it comes to gold. So we'll see if they can snowball off of that or if it goes to the late game where that Infernal Drake is going to be very valuable. So let's take a look at this. It's a Sentinel teleport here by Someday. So we see the engage. Fly gonna come in, gets only the W onto Core, but Fly, he's gonna ult Cube right there. I think he probably should have ulted himself instead. Still, Someday going to actually start to clean up this fight, but nobody's touching Arrow. Arrow just focuses down the Sivir immediately. Gonna try and turn around here. Someday picks up the second kill as Ambition goes deep to finish off Scores Nidalee, and now we've got an attempt at a turret here in the top side. Big minion wave. Ruler has rotated up there with Core. Core did use his Abyssal Voyage to get there faster. So they're actually going to respond. So nice use of Abyssal Voyage on the backside of that team fight to even up the turret count. And that means that Samsung has a lead. So when the dust settles, they're in a good place. Scores here. Gonna miss the spear.
Kube dodges that spear, goes back in with the Slicing Maelstrom. Crown coming down to try to support his top laner. There's Crown, pops a shield, a kill for Kube. Someday with the two-man Gnar ultimate, gonna get the return kill. And now Crown, caught out by Fly, can't get away, and KT goes 1 for 2 yet again. Meanwhile, Achani pretty low. Down in the lower jungle, Samsung wants a bit of revenge. Nice cocoon onto Fly. Achani comes in, misses a Cosmic Binding. Fly flashes away. Achani on the run, takes the magical journey. Core JJ opts not to follow. Ruler chases, gets the boomerang blade kill onto Fly, and Core JJ takes a bite out of Someday. Achani comes back in to try to get Bloodthirsty, but it's not the right time. That's a double kill for Ruler. Arrow does get the top turret, but they will trade as Samsung should be able to grab the bottom as well.
Yeah, more and more kills, but we're still nearly dead even when it comes to gold, Doa.
Yeah.
See how far they can push this one. Score back up right now. Score doubled back at the wrong time in the initial skirmish. Take a look at this one. They try and get onto Cube. Score wants to tag him with the red buff, gets stunned up. Someday on the outside of the Maelstrom auto-attacking. Score just gets caught up, but that's a nice ultimate. Achani gets caught on the magical journey, has to use the Tempered Fate early just to survive. And when they go after Crown, they overextend. Everybody's rushing down with the on the hunt right now. Fly doesn't have a way to escape. He uses Flash to engage onto Crown in the first place, gets out with the Glacial Path, but too fast. Ambition has the repel up, closes the gap. Good W, but Boomerang Blade does end up zoning him into an auto attack right there. Nice devour by Core JJ right underneath the turret. Achani should have just walked away. Instead, he dies unnecessarily. He could not have saved Someday right there.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Samsung finds themselves with a little over 1,000 gold in leads for KT, which is not a huge lead. And perhaps a bit more crucially, Samsung is sitting on that Infernal Drake buff.
Yeah, Crown actually going for the early Ardent Sensor too, so it is really all about buffing Ruler up.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's basically just mass movement speed, mass CC, and then buffing Ruler. So KT can take out Ruler early in a team fight, they are just going to steamroll Samsung, but that is going to be hard to do. A lot of shields, a lot of movement speed for the Sivir to work with.
Samsung moving up the mid lane now. They want to try to take this last outer turret. There's a big shield from Karma. A lot of damage done to that. Fly not going in. And that's a lot of damage on the mid lane turret.
Yeah, they don't have pressure anywhere else. Score also just trying to take this blue buff right now. They're trying to sneak it in between the waves to give Fly the buff. They will get it.
Yep. And there is another Infernal Drake coming up in 1 minute as well.
Boy.
Yeah, that is. It's got to be
huge.
If Samsung gets that.
Now KT does have 2 TPs to work with right here, so if we can get Fly into a split pushing situation, maybe KT can come back and just control the minion waves a little bit better. But the problem is there's still no Runen's Hurricane on Arrow, so his wave clear in the mid lane is not particularly efficient.
Yeah. It's still a close game. Samsung, though, can take this final outer turret and be able to set up a lot more effectively for the Infernal Drake coming in about 20 seconds now.
Everybody coming back.
Yep.
Nice push in the bottom side, and still going to be a slow push out here for Cube. Minion wave was shoved all the way into his tier 2 turret by Someday. The setup will begin. KT trying not to use TP. Someday simply walking back. No Narbar at the moment.
KT trying to zone out. Samsung in the river. Kuve's going to recall. He's got his teleport. Not going to use it just yet. But he could come in at any moment. They don't have great flanking wards.
Well, they do have control of the bottom side of the map, though, and they are going to probably start the Infernal Drake here.
Seems like it'd be a good idea.
He's trying to poke with the Spirit Fire and the Boomerang Blade. Nope.
Back to the mid lane.
Yeah, KT buys enough time. Someday sitting there. Look at his Narbar. It's in a great place. They're going to engage this.
That's right, Samsung. Starts the Infernal Drake. They're going to back off for the moment, waiting for Ruler to come down. Ruler in a dangerous spot. Has to use that on the hunt. Was in trouble. Infernal Drake does go over to Samsung, slicing Maelstrom. Kube trying to zone. They're going to get Fly as he comes in. Someday with a Gnar ultimate. Where's the follow-up? Crown backing away, and still Ruler relatively untouched. Achani trying to change that, though, as he moves in. But Samsung, they've got this fight. They've got the Karma Shield, and they've got the power from those 2 Infernal Drakes. They get another kill. There goes Someday.
And here comes
KT
Kube.
in big trouble now. Kube goes in. They do lose Core JJ. Arrow got a kill when they went a little bit too deep. And Samsung, they're kind of low health, but they really want this mid lane turret. Looks like they'll get it. And now, Samsung, 3,000 gold ahead, but those 2 Infernal Drakes are going to make such a huge difference as we move farther into this game now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Fly here, he doesn't ult himself soon enough. He goes in right here, walking, and he misses his W, exhaust, and then he just gets chain CC'd. Nothing he can do.
Yeah.
Should have just popped his ultimate and set up for Someday immediately. Delayed too long, got greedy.
Great save by Core JJ onto Ruler once he got hit with the Gnar ult.
And the Bard ult missing too really hurt to start off that fight. The Bard ult could have helped him set up. Arrow too. He's got the Hurricane now, but he just couldn't get enough auto attacks off the front line. Wasn't there for him. He needs the CC.
Oh, that was bold.
From, yeah, a little bit too bold.
Yeah,
a bit too bold.
Tom Kenshell right next to the turret. Okay. All right, somebody who's excited. I get that. As is, though. Samsung is, I mean, it's really their game to lose now, isn't it?
Yeah, they still have the problem of more globals on KT and KT having better scaling, so KT not entirely out of this game, but man, with 2 Infernal Drakes, that is made exponentially harder. The Drakes going to be helping Samsung pretty significantly in this game.
Yeah. KT, they really cannot afford to have any more team fights go poorly.
Oh, and they also need to get some vision around this Baron right now.
Yeah.
Samsung posturing.
Well, I mean, we've seen it twice already tonight. When Samsung manages to get a lead like this, they've been closing very efficiently, very cleanly. And part of that has been their vision control, and it's been good.
KT just trying to trade evenly right now, using the split push.
All right, Karma Shield. They will take that turret. And then they're just going to back off. Again, not over pursuing. Tempered Fate comes through. Ruler did spell shield that. Someday coming in with the teleport. Kube back in with the slicing Maelstrom. Someday is going to be late here.
He's got the Mega Gnar.
Oh, he gets caught with the cocoon though. This is a mess now. Ruler backing away. Ruler is so low. Gets the big fly though. It was a big Gnar ult, but Ruler was not part of it. And Samsung pushing KT back. Again, we've been talking about it all game. They need to catch Ruler. They didn't do that, and this is going to be another one fight by Samsung.
And this is looking like Samsung's going to take an inhibitor right now. They still have 4 up. The Gnar, just the Mega Gnar came a hair too late.
Yeah, they can get the inhibitor, and they may even be able to fall back. Do you think they've got a chance in Baron?
No, they really don't have the HP right now. Fly is coming up in 5 seconds with the teleport, so they can't push it further, but they don't have to, Doa. They're in a great position right now to take this 5th and final game.
Keep in mind, Samsung came into this series being 0-19 in game score against KT in the last 2 years. Let's watch that fight again.
Yeah, it was spell shielded right off the bat by Ruler. Cube uses the belt to get in. Poor JJ saves him right there, and Someday just has to wait so long to get into the Mega Gnar form. Is CC'd while it happens, tries to make that big play. Nice Gnar ultimate, but they just can't finish off any kills besides Ambition here. And as you said, Ruler auto-attacking the rest of that time. Crown just trying to chase up while he can. Absolutely untouched in this engagement. Arrow just tries to get something off the back of that fight, but can't do it.
Yeah.
So QSS now for Arrow. He's trying to be able to keep auto-attacking through the Kennen ultimate. That's his main goal right now.
Well, it's going to be helpful, that's for sure. Mountain Drake in about a minute now. Another big Drake for Samsung to take if they can manage it.
Try and catch score.
Yeah, that's right. Near the wall. They can use that Karma Shield after they use it on the hunt, and score just completely caught. Kube locked up by Fly in the back line, but it didn't end up really doing anything. That's a Lissandra ult down now, and you might as well have given the Baron to Samsung on the silver platter.
Yeah, score can't be that deep down the lane. We did see Cube pushing up right. They're actually teleported onto the super minion wave.
Yeah.
So good collapse from Samsung, and they're showing good use of their global ultimates. Their top catch play tonight has been top tier.
This is the best we have ever seen this Samsung team play. And you know, again, it needs to be stated multiple times that this is a Samsung team that had never beaten KT Rolster in a match. They had never even beaten KT Rolster in a single game before tonight. And now, the match that they're going to win, the first one they choose to win, could be the one that sends them to Worlds.
Yeah, huge for Samsung, especially after the 0-3 performance against KT.
Yeah.
You know, Samsung, they didn't have a lot of time to prepare for that playoff run. They had 2 days to practice before they played the wild card versus Africa on patch 6.15. Now they're really showing up. Poor JJ has done a wonderful job at the gauntlet to the surprise of literally everybody.
There's a Mountain Drake now.
Oh my God.
Every Drake taken by Samsung. They've got the Baron. They've got the Mountain. Another Infernal Drake coming up too.
It couldn't be going better for Samsung. The Drake God is on their side this game. It's helping them snowball immensely.
Wow. And you got to credit Samsung when they've gotten these leads too. They've been knowing how to use them.
Well, they're knowing how to use it this game, Doa.
Yeah.
Got another early inhibitor. They got the Baron buff now. Be able to push for another couple of minutes right here. And KT's going to try for a desperate engage.
Okay, good Karma Shield there, keeping Ambition safe. After he got caught up a little bit, they're going to go after another inhibitor. Look at that damage on the inhibitor. Ruler saved by Core JJ. They're going to ult Kube though. Oh! Stalled up by the Tempered Fate. Oh, big Gnar ult anyway though. KT, this is it. They have to try to make something here. They do get Ruler, but Samsung may just be too far ahead. A double kill for Ambition.
I don't know, Arrow is untouched.
Well, Ruler's down. Yeah, they need to win the 3v1
Crown's
against Arrow, I guess. All right, make it a 1v1, and that's a 3 for 3, it looks like.
Yeah, Arrow staying alive was the big winner right there. He's going to try and chase after Core. Does see him on a ward.
Yep.
Core going to be able to zip out.
It's a quicker frog than he looks.
Out of the jungle, yeah, Arrow has to do everything.
Yeah.
Ruler going down first. Remember, he is the majority of the damage on Samsung. They've got many ways to protect him. They've got big shields coming in from Crown with the Ardent Sensor. But in this fight, Cube gets caught out. Good ultimate finally. They're able to kill Cube right at the start of this one. His ult does absolutely nothing, and the big Gnar ultimate right afterwards. They get onto the priority target. Great team fighting from Fly finally. And Arrow, they just can't do anything to him when he's at full HP right here. He'll lifesteal tank. Crown tries to go for the kill, but he just gets full of spears instead. And quick rend to finalize the kill.
It's amazing that Fly survived that fight, too. He was sub 100 health, I'm pretty sure. So Baron buff's still on Core JJ, so they can still use that to push objectives at least.
They didn't get that inhibitor, so a small saving grace for KT.
It's true.
Probably not enough.
Well, I mean, that was the first fight that we saw Ruler die in. And Arrow lived, so there is a chance. You know, as time goes on, though, I suppose that Infernal Drake counts for more and more. And, you know, if Samsung gets the third one, that's just going to be so much more power than KT can conceivably get, even if they are in 6 items, right?
Yeah, that's, as you say, that's the big problem. We'll see what can happen here for KT.
All right,
push
Armor
forward.
Shield. Going in on this turret, someday hit with a Cocoon. He's going to get low. They're going to get the turret. Kube pops the Slicing Maelstrom early.
Yeah, kind of a waste of an ult right there.
Maybe worried about a counter engage, perhaps.
After they chunk someday out, I don't think they have to be too worried about that.
Yeah. All right, Core JJ gets the ward down. Sees that he does not want to get any closer to that wall. Samsung, though, takes another chunk out of KT. They've got an 8,000 gold lead. Those Drakes, man. QSS helping out for Arrow as well.
Well, I mean, if Cube ever decides to use his ultimate on the enemy team instead of while running away, yes. It will be helpful, most likely.
He's been good about it, generally.
Interesting that Someday has gone for the Dead Man's Plate in this game, looking for that big burst of damage. Ruler, though, now with the QSS of his own.
Certainly helpful if he gets Sandra ulted, or Tempered Fate, I suppose.
Now we wait for another Infernal Drake and Baron. Samsung gonna have to be a little bit tricky with how they play the map when the Drake comes up, considering the spawn timers are only 9 seconds apart.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, I don't know. Do you risk giving up an Infernal Drake to KT to take that Baron?
Well, ideally, you know, they don't have enough lifesteal really on Ruler, so it is a bit hard to have him solo the Dragon. Ideally, you'd try and have your AD carry solo Drake while the rest of your team stood at Baron to make sure it wasn't taken.
Tense moment either way. Ambition with that GA. Who doesn't land on Ajani. They're going to zone out score a little bit. Samsung looking a little bit scattered here. Risky positioning. Cube coming in.
Somebody actually got the red buff right there.
Yeah. Certainly nice. 30 seconds until that Infernal Drake. Samsung pushing through, putting pressure on that vulnerable inhibitor as well. The top one has respawned now. So KT's got a little bit higher level of comfort as they look at defending against this Drake. Cocoon onto Someday, but nobody really there to follow up. And if Samsung gets this Infernal Drake.
Top wave is slowly pushing towards Samsung, so they have to be pretty decisive about this or they may lose a tier 2.
This could be the apocalyptic fight to end them all here. Infernal Drake spawns. Cocoon does not land. Samsung uses that
Mega Gnar
monster shield.
coming.
Yep. Almost there.
Looks like KT just wants to wait for the next Mega Gnar.
Could be. That might be Samsung's position or signal to go for this Drake, though.
Yeah, looks like it will be.
Might end up being a 50-50. They're going to go for it. Ambition with the GA feels a little bit more confident in front. Oh, the Drake leash is back, though. Getting lower. They're going to go for it. Score looking to steal. Slicing Maelstrom for Kube. That's a double kill immediately. Samsung crushes the team fight. They destroy KT, and that's got to be the series right there. Fly gets away. Score gets away as well, but can Samsung end right here?
They might be able to. What a play from Cuvee with
No
the flash
kidding.
and the proto belt. Completely caught KT off guard. Score was just in the pit trying to steal it, and
there's a
Crown's
slow.
going to get the kill with the tether.
That's it. That's it. Only Score left. And Samsung, the improbable, the impossible is happening. They are going to Worlds after losing 19 games in a row, not beating KT Rolster since 2014. Ambition, 1 game away from Worlds and not making it 4 years ago. Now today, 2016, Ambition and Samsung are going to Worlds. GG.
What a huge moment for Ambition. His first World Championship, one of the longest tenured players in the entire world of League of Legends. And now he is there. Celebrations in the booth from the coaches. Core JJ comes into the gauntlet and helps carry this Samsung team. What a story for Samsung, losing all their players in 2014, and now they're back.
I mean, you gotta hand it to the staff in this organization to be able to rebuild this team like this after essentially nothing. They lost everybody. Crown overcome there, and he was a big part of what got them there. Obviously, not so happy for KT. Kind of close, but not close enough. End of their year. Losing in the championships or losing in the grand finals for LCK Summer, and now losing in the final game of the gauntlet to see who goes to Worlds. Tough end for them.
It is a tough end, Noah, but KT has been playing on a razor's edge during these playoffs. 3 consecutive full 5-game series. I really think that their draft in Game 4, picking those 3 losing lanes was a big problem, and they just didn't take the momentum when they had it. But Samsung, man, look at Crown. This guy, was in Brazil not so long ago.
Yeah.
And now takes the 3rd Korean seed at the World Championship.
Wow. Like you said, what a story. And again, I mean, just a really, really awesome day for Ambition. I've mentioned this many times before, but I'll say it one more time because it's so applicable. My very first League of Legends match that I saw here, I didn't cast it, but the first one I saw in the OGN studio was Najin Sword versus Mig Blaze. Ambition trying to make it to Worlds, went to Game 5. They didn't make it. And now here we are, 4 years later, different teams, 10 seasons later here in Korea, and Ambition finally makes it to his first Worlds. What a career this guy's had. What a fantastic end to the year here in the OGN studio, and what a fantastic look ahead we have to Worlds for these 3 teams coming out of Korea.
Yeah, tough for KT, but Samsung takes the day, and the Kennen pick becomes a big part of that. We had wondered, Kennen's very strong in Dinar. Where was the Kennen pick in the playoffs here in Korea? We saw it many times in the LCS, and now it makes its appearance. No one else had played it, but Cuvee, he takes it up, wins 2 out of 3 games on the Kennen into the Gnar matchup, and that sends Samsung to Worlds. I mean, look at this play from Cuvee. I mean, just a gorgeous setup. The speed coming in too. There's nothing KT can do. The setup absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
For Samsung, taking advantage of the exhausted Gnar from Sunday. And Crown will eventually chase down Fly there to finish off the game, but great decisiveness from Samsung.
Keep in mind, Ambition did this with style too. He won a game with Skarner today as well. So yeah, I mean,
hey, they knew how to use the Skarner. They played it well with the Jhin. What can you say?
That's a stylish way though to make your way to Worlds. I love it. That's great.
What a huge upset.
Yeah.
I mean, basically everybody had pegged this as a near certain KT win, but
on paper, yeah, it certainly did look like that. So, look at that. What an exciting series. We have just had one exciting best of 5 after another here to end 2016 as far as the OGN League of Legends broadcasts go. What a wild ride it's been, but you really couldn't ask for anything more.
No, you couldn't, Doa. Now we're going to see what maybe Core JJ as a starting support player at Worlds is going to do.
Yeah.
For Samsung. And they had the Worlds curse on them, winning 2014 and then not making it 2015, but in 2016 they will be back once again.
I'm in shock, but it's a pleasant kind of shock. So the Rocks Tigers, SK Telecom, and Samsung, your Korean representatives at the 2016 League of Legends World Championships. That is a scary set of teams. I think we still have to wait and see how Samsung does once they get to Worlds.
That's right.
But they're looking good right now, looking really good.
And KT, their fate was in their hands. If they had won the finals, if they had won tonight, they had 2 chances to make it. They didn't win either.
That's right. So Steven's going to be doing some translating here, and let's hear what the winners have to say.
Thank you very much, Doa and Monte, for a great cast for today's match. And now we're moving into interviews with the winner of today's original qualifier match, Samsung. And they did a great job for today's match. And after beating the natural enemy KT, they have managed to go to World Championship today. And it's been an amazing game for the both teams. First of all, the Dongjun have mentioned that let's hear from the Ambition. How do you feel about it? It's your first LCK World Championship ever in your pro game life. Ambition said, I'm really touched by all the team members, and I'm really happy to go to World Championship. And Dongjun says it's been very tough for Samsung because there were a radical change in team after the 2 years ago winning the series, World Champions. And it was tough for you guys. You're coming from CJ. And Ambition said that we have nothing to lose, even though we lose this match. And that we play very hard for thinking about that. And then the Cloud Templar is saying that it's the first season for the Ruler, but he have done a great job. And there any message to fans? And Ruler is saying that I cannot believe like what's going on right now. And until the last game, I didn't expect to win a match, but I just keep playing very hard to get a match for today's. And then I really I cannot say any word for it. And then the Cloud Temper mentioned about today you didn't play that overplayed it, and then the Ruler have mentioned the fact that it was a very important day for us. That's why I didn't overgoing or overplayed it well. I was calming myself to overall game. And the Dongjun have talked that you have shown a great job, Kuve, using a cannon. So any message to your fans? And then the Kuve is saying that because of Ambition, this is all made by our big brother Ambition. He has very cheer for us throughout the whole season, and that's the reason why each teammate have improved their skill and personal performance. I'm really happy, and thank you to all the teammate and the coach. And I think because of you guys, fans, that's the reason why we're here for today's match. And don't just say we cannot say anything about every single match because it was pretty amazing. Every match were very tense, and it was total clown festa. And Crown, you're crying right now. Don't just say you need a break, and then the Crown is gonna respond. Now Cloud Templar said even though you guys had a hard time in the second and third, you did it very well, Crown. And Crown is saying that because of the coach, we can work very hard, and I think all victory is made by coach, and it's all coach job. He cannot say any more word right now. And now Club Temperance that throughout the season, Core JJ, you kind of had a little like not great performance compared to today's match, but you came like a throughout like a new star that saved the team with Tom Kench. And now Core JJ is crying so hard he cannot even respond back. And now Core JJ is saying that after changing his position from AD carry to supporter, he had a very not great performance in the first game in the during the season, and he had a very stressed out, and he was wondering he could do well throughout the season after it, but he had worked very hard. And Core JJ said, I cannot believe that I'm here right now with the teammate and managed to win the match, and he's really touched. And now Dojo said every teammate, every player is crying right now. They're very touched. And he's saying that every one of you guys are very desperate about the going to World Championship. We can feel that. And now you're happy right now, Ambition, and give a last comment for your fans and what kind of a main goal that you guys gonna set for the World Championship. And the Ambition is saying that after CJ, when I came to this to the Samsung team, I was set my goal to go to World Championship and win the series. And this kind of miracle, I feel like it's a miracle for us. And this is the opportunity the best opportunity we can get for this season, and we will definitely take it. And we will prepare very hard and go to the World Championship, and we will take it. And then Dongju said there's nothing to explain but to cheer and happy about it. And Dongju said the congratulations for the winner of today's match, Samsung. And this is the end of the interview. I'm back to you guys.
All right, thank you for the translation. And hey, how about that? Samsung with Ambition finally making it to Worlds, or Samsung making it back to Worlds, I should say, but Ambition, what a long career, what a ton of work this guy's put in. He even changed roles, still remained one of the best, and he's finally going to the League of Legends World Championships. Fantastic, and I can't think of a better way to end our year of League of Legends here at OGN, and what a year it's been. And we really want to thank you guys on behalf of Monty and I, and of course, Achilleos and Papa Smithy as well. Man, and of course the staff. Our staff is amazing. OGN puts on a great show, as always.
Thanks to you, OGN Legion, for sticking with us this year.
Yeah.
This will be our last broadcast here at OGN for League of Legends for the remainder of 2016.
Yeah, that's it for us. So, thanks for watching. It's been a cool year, and wow, can't wait to see Worlds. And I mean, I'm going to assume SK Telecom is going to, never bet against SKT. Never bet against SKT. Although I would say this year, I'm not as sure of my bet as I would normally be, but I'm still betting on SKT.
Well, it's been such a surprise for Samsung, too. They came out a lot stronger in the gauntlet than really anybody could have expected, and especially Cuvée and Crown just showing up. So
Core JJ.
That's the weirdest.
If you would have told me at the beginning of this week, Core JJ is going to be like a god in the I'm like, no, I mean, you know who Core JJ is, right? But no, he actually was amazing this week.
He was great.
And a big part of what got Samsung to Worlds. Really, really cool story for the team. And again, like I'm not supposed to show bias. I'm a commentator, except except for SKT. I can show bias about them. But for other teams, I'm not supposed to show bias. But it really is good to see Ambition go to Worlds. I mean, I can't think of a more deserving guy in the Korean scene, and it's great to see.
And it sucks for KT, but
sure.
What can he do? They had 2 chances. They got none of them, so.
Well, it ends in disappointment for Monty and KT again, but hey, what else is new? Samsung going to Worlds. Thanks for watching, guys. From Seoul, South Korea, Do and Monte Cristo for your last League of Legends broadcast of 2016. Again, thank you so much for watching, OGN Legion. Thanks for supporting us. Keep watching eSports on OGN. We'll be back. Don't worry. We'll be back sooner than you think. We'll see you then.